You like that, huh? Anyways, he's already dead, but sometimes I wrestle him for fun, eh? The dogs, you get a dog meet one of these guys, it's the best, eh? When you see a dog maybe a year or 2 years old, maybe even older, sees one of these for the first time, eh? Nice rug like this, and you know, they start going crazy, eh? This is a good rug. Anyways, this is a different story. Today, guys, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about bore sight and guns. And we're going to talk a little bit about this scope company here that has been cool enough to, they're interested in sponsoring me, and, rightfully so. I'm a pretty goddamn funny guy, eh? So, anyways, Brandon Scopes and Optics, okay, and they sell Olivon scopes, and they're the only distributor in Canada here, and Olivon's very popular in Europe, eh? And it's a well-priced scope. It's not too expensive. It gives you, it's a good, and quote me on this, okay? It's a good bang for your buck, eh? No joke. So basically, I'm going to show you this Olivon scope today that Brandon Scopes and Optics has given me to try out, and I'm going to show you a little bit on how to bore sight your gun, okay? Because you don't need to pay the money down at the hunting store just to get your gun bore sighted and to mount the scope. You can do this stuff yourself, eh? I don't want to make a long video, so I already mounted the scope myself. Let's go check out my 22 Magnum here, my Marlin. Alright, so, as you guys can see, I got the Olivon scope put on here. Alright, it's a good scope. It's a 3x9x40, okay? Or it's a 3 to 9x40, okay? Which means you can go from 3 power to 9 power, okay, with the turn of your hand. Alright, you got your focus right here, we got your protection guard here. Obviously with the 22 Magnum I'm not going to have to protect my eye, there's no kick, eh? But it's a nice thick rubber seal and I like it, and it's a good focus and it's easy to use, okay? One of the nicest things I like about this gun is that I'm used to all these European scopes, eh? And when you open them up like this, with the European scopes, a lot of them you got to find a coin or something to use in order to twist it, eh? But this you don't, you can just twist it. It's pretty simple and I like that, okay? And also, that's what it is. It's a 1/4 inch at 100 yards for one click, okay? I'm not a genius, but with these 0.38 or 0.36 of an inch at 100 yards, look man, I'm not a genius. Like I said again, you know, I got my calculator out there, I'm trying to figure stuff out, and you know what? And I know you just dial and you shoot, but it's a lot easier and it's a lot nicer to have a dial that's for a regular guy, eh? Also, another thing nice about this scope, and I'm going to try and show you guys, is that it's got the crosshairs that illuminate, but it's not like some of these cheaper scopes, these other brand names, where the whole crosshair illuminates, okay? You need to be focused on the center of those crosshairs. If you have a scope and your eyes aren't being drawn to the center of those crosshairs, then you got to get yourself another scope. You got to ask yourself, why do I have this scope? Why? Because it costs 50 bucks, right? Anyways, this scope here runs for about $100, and you know what? Some of you guys might think $100, that's nothing for a scope. It's a piece of junk. Well, you know what? This scope's not too bad, okay? Like I said, I haven't taken it out shooting. Well, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I've already bore sighted this thing, and I've taken a few shots with it, and I was pretty impressed, okay? But we're going to re-bore sight it, and we're going to show you guys how it's done, okay? I'm not going to lie. I couldn't hold my horses, okay? I bore sighted it, and I went out an hour later, and I took a few shots off, and I was very impressed. I was also happy with my bore sighting kit here as well, okay? And it took me less than 10 minutes to bore sight this thing and have it on my gun, eh? So that's pretty good. So I've got this thing on 11 here, so you can see the red crosshairs here. See? There you go. Okay, they look pretty big there, guys, but they're not that big, eh? They're right in the center. That's it. The rest of them's black, eh? Because you want to be very focused on the center. Okay, like I said, that's a big deal, eh? So we got a bore sighting kit here. I got it all set up. I'm going to show you a little bit about the bore sighter and how it works. You all know how crosshairs look on a scope, eh? Well, I just took the foggy glass off the very end of my bore sight here. It's a foggy glass, okay, which is what you want to use, okay? What you're going to see now inside of here you're going to see, hang on, there we go, guys. See that? There you go, those crosshairs there, okay? So those ones there are going to match up with the crosshairs on your scope. And that's how simple that is, eh? So you get your gun on the stand, you put it there, and you know what, if you don't have a stand, that's okay. Just get your gun steady, eh? Just get it steady. And don't worry about scratching your barrel, it's not going to happen. Relax. The piece that shoots out of the metal is brass, it's fine. Just don't jam it in there like a son of a bitch, okay? Put it on there nice. So I put that on there like that. Okay, so I'm going to need to tweak this a little this way. Get that nice and flat. As long as your crosshairs are lined up evenly, you know the thing's center, eh? Okay, so she's center. She's good. And we're going to give her one click to the left. And you know what? When I went out there, I realized I needed one click to the left. Eh? Oops. Wrong one. My up and down was good, though. I was pretty happy with that. Most definitely happy with that, eh? So now we're going to see if she's dead on. She should be dead on. She should be dead on here. I'm pretty picky when it comes to bore sighting because when you get out there, I don't want to fuck around, eh? Especially if it's a high caliber rifle. Yeah. Okay, now everything's running true, right straight through. Everything's running true. That's how you bore sight a gun, folks. That's what they charge you $40 for at the gun store. When you can buy a kit for 60, 70 bucks with all the sizes, and you can bore sight it yourself. That's how she works, eh? That's how you bore sight a gun. This is a good 22, eh? I must tell you, this is a really good 22, and I enjoy it lots. This is my clip for my 22. Pops out nice and easy. Okay, it's a good gun, alright? So like I said, oh, and you've noticed that I've put the pad on this gun. Well, why have I put the pad on a rifle? Well, because I'm shooting coyotes, and you're using your call, and then I want to jam my head on the gun, and I want my eye to be going right through the crosshairs right away. I don't want to have to lift my head on the gun. I like to put my head tied onto a gun. That's generally how I like to do things, okay? So that's how we got that. I also took my bore sighting kit just to see how my how everything was working with my 416, just to double check, eh? Because I never did bore sighted. It was bore sighted straight from the factory, so I just threw the scope on, took a few shots, and that was that, eh? But I just wanted to double check, and like I suspected, it was a little to the left, so I tweaked it a bit, and I'm happier now with it. You know what I gotta say, guys? A lot of people are out there to rip you off nowadays, and don't fall for the schemes and the gimmicks. Okay? If you're in America, you go to Walmart, they probably can help you out pretty good. You go to Canada and you go to Walmart to get something, they can't help you out worth a shit. Okay? Half the people don't really know what's going on. So you go to your local hunting store and the prices are jacked up a little bit higher, or maybe they're lower. But then they try and get you here and they try and get you there. You know? Get yourself a good bore sighting kit. There's nothing wrong with a cheap bore sighting kit, because you know what? It's there for one reason. Bore sight the gun, that's it. Get it within the ideal, and then go out there and start shooting. And that's the way it works. Okay? Best thing I ever bought was this bore sighting kit. No jokes. Got it from a good store at a good price. On a pretty good day, I was happy to get it. Also, I'm sick of guys asking me questions about what's open and what's this and what's that. You don't know how many friends I have that have their hunting license. They're asking me this question. What's open? What's this? What's that? So you know what, guys? To all you assholes that keep asking me what's open, what's this, what's that, get yourself a synopsis. Alright? It's a hunting and trapping regulation synopsis for 2009-2010. If you don't know if you have the right one, don't worry about it. In BC, if there's a frickin' mountain goat on it, and you've got 2009-2010, this stuff is made simple enough for retards. Okay? Because let's face it, I got an orange hat on today because I'm going out to a field to shoot coyotes this morning, and you know what? There's going to be some retards out there, maybe, you never know. And they shoot anything that moves. And don't lie to yourself and don't lie to anybody else. Full camo's okay and it's nice when you're doing bow hunting and whatnot. The animals cannot see this color. They are color blind, okay? If we can send a goddamn man to the moon, then we know that animals are colorblind, alright? So don't worry about that. Wear your safety orange out there, okay? I'm not lying to you, man. I've seen guys get shot and it's not a pretty sign. It's a pretty sad thing. Anyways, thanks for coming out, guys, and thanks for watching another show with Mr. Canadian Redneck.